This is Derek. I want to do a quick video on some sights that I just was sent by XS Sights, and these are for my Glock 47 COA. And so these are the new XS sights. What I love about these is they're an aftermarket sight that I can just put on. In this video, I'll kind of show you the process that I go through when I'm going to install these sights. And so to install these sights, I'm going to need a Glock front sight tool. I'm going to need a driver with a Torx bit. The Torx bit is for my Radian ramjet and afterburner setup here. I'm also going to need the Wheeler Tools fat wrench because I'm going to torque down the sights. And according to the specs here, I'm only going to torque them to between 6 and 8 foot-pounds. And so in the package, you're going to get the rear sight, the front sight, some Loctite, everything you need to install these sights. In the package, you're going to get some lube, a sticker, some information from XS Sights. You'll also get some thread locker. You're going to get a front sight. What I love about the front sight, it's got the green tritium insert and there's an orange circle around that. I love that dot. And on the rear, you're going to have green tritium inserts as well. And it comes with everything you need to install the sight. First thing I'm going to do is obviously I'm going to check my gun for clear. So obviously check no magazine, check the chamber, it's clear, point it in a safe direction, and press the trigger, and then take the gun apart just like that. So I set my lower aside, and what I'll do is I'll pull out my guide rod, and then I'll get this driver. And what I'll do is I'll start by removing my afterburner here. And I set that tapered screw aside, and then that just comes off just like this, and then I would take out the barrel, and now I can access my factory. And so I'll start off by using my front sight tool here, and I'm going to stick it inside the hole there. I'm going to make sure that it's on the head of that front sight screw squarely, because if I don't, I can strip that screw out. So, and what I do is just kind of back it off and until this front sight is ready to come out. And so I'll just set that aside, drop out the factory screw, and then what I'll do is I'll come to the front sight, or the rear sight here. And so with this one, I'm going to go ahead and swap out my driver for a different size tip. And then what I'll do is I'll just kind of loosen up these screws here. What I really like about the COA design, the COA design, is the fact that the rear sight is not pressed in. It's actually held in with these two set screws. And it's really makes it handy. So what I'll do is remove the rear sight there. What I'll do also is I'll take a rag and I'll just clean this area. I want to be kind of mindful of this because now my sight is loose and I don't want to really mess with my zero too much. I will go ahead and when I go back to the range, I will check my zero, make sure everything's redone and it's good to go. And so I have my rear sight, and what I'll do is I'll just kind of put that in place, just like that. And then I'll take my thread locker. All right, so I'm going to start by putting some thread locker on these bolts, just a dot. And got to be careful because this isn't magnetic. Kind of get it started. Make sure it doesn't cross thread. And then I'll grab the second screw, get it set up, put another dot on there like that. And then put that one in there, get it started. And what I like to do is I like to kind of take turns. And so I'll start a few, and until I get it kind of close. I'm also going to check that optic, make sure that optic is not moving. And so kind of get that there. And then what I'll do is I will get my fat wrench here. Fat wrench is set to 6 to 8 pounds. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of start with that when it clicks. That way I know it's torqued. And double check, make sure that is not going anywhere, and you'll see the perfect. So now for the front sight. And so with the front sight, what I'll have is this orange dot with the green tritium, and I have a screw. And with my Glock front sight tool, I'll go ahead and make sure it's in there. It's such a small screw, you got to be careful. There, got it all set up. I'll put a drop on there. And then what I'll do is I'll put my front sight in there like that. And I'm going to hold it with my finger and just kind of get it where I want it. Also kind of look up and down to make sure it's straight on the slide itself. And then what I'll do is I'll take that front sight tool and just kind of start threading it into place. And I'll get it close, and I'm just going to verify that it's square and straight on the slide. You'll see I have an even reveal there and there, so that's pretty good for the front sight. And then what I'll do is I'll just finish, get it on the, and just tighten it down and use my rag. And so now I have the front and rear sights, the XS sights put on my new Glock 47 COA. And so I'll finish putting this thing back together, and I'll show you what it looks like. So I got everything set up the way I want it, so now I'm going to go ahead and put the gun back together. And so what I typically do, I'm using the ALG very thin grease, and I'll just put a light coating on my barrel. It just helps the barrel look nicer a little bit longer. And so I just put a thin coating there, and then on my lower, I'll put a dot there, dot there, dot there, and dot there. And so I'll take my slide, put the barrel in there just like that, put my guide rod back in there, and then what I'll do is I'll just slide the slide back together. So once I have everything put back together, I just try it a couple times, make sure everything works the way it should. I'll take my afterburner here and then go ahead and kind of rotate it into place like that. Once it's in place, then I'll take the tapered screw, put that there, and then use my driver to hold everything back in place. All right. And it's all put back together. So you can find out more information about the sights, xssights.com.